So in this video, I'm going to talk about solving proportions. So a proportion is anytime we have a ratio is equal to a ratio. So basically, fraction equals fraction. Usually we have variables in there somewhere. So to start off, I could say maybe 2 over x is equal to 3 over 4. And I want to figure out what x is. Now to solve this, we could do something called cross multiply, and it's when we take 2 times 4 and 3 times x and we set them equal to each other. So I've got 2 times 4 is equal to 3 times x. And we would work through and solve this one-step equation. So 2 times 4 gives me 8 equals 3x. And I divide by 3 and I get 8/3 is equal to x. Now you may have done this in high school. And cross multiplying is for sure a great tool, but I want to explain to you what we're doing when we're cross multiplying, because we're taking one equation and then we're setting up another equation and solving that one, and then our claim is that this guy, this x value, actually solves this original equation. So to do that, I'm going to use another example that might feel a little more intuitive. Say I take x over 2 is equal to 3 over 5. Now, instead of looking at this as a proportion and thinking proportion means cross multiply and I cross multiply, look at this as solving a linear equation. I have x divided by some number is equal to another number. And if you had something like x over 2 equals 3, you would say, okay, multiply both sides by 2. And then we would get x is equal to 6. So similarly, we're going to solve this equation the same way. We're going to say multiply both sides by 2. And we end up getting x is equal to, now we have 3/5 times 2. And you might say, well, I don't really like dealing with fractions. And notice if you multiply the right-hand side by 5, we actually get cancellation with that fraction. And since we multiplied the right-hand side by 5, we have to multiply the left-hand side by 5 as well. And so we get on the left-hand side 5x is equal to, and then we've got 3 times 2. And notice that this is exactly the same equation that we would have gotten if in the beginning, when we had x over 2 equals 3 over 5, if you would have said, okay, go ahead and cross multiply, you would have gotten 5x is equal to 3 times 2. Okay, and so it's fine to each time go ahead and cross multiply, but I want you to have in the back of your head that really what you're doing is just multiplying both sides by the denominator. Okay, so to finish off solving this one, if we have 5x is equal to 3 times 2, we would eventually divide by 5, and we'd get 3 times 2 is 6 divided by 5, and this would be our solution. Okay, suppose we have something like 2x plus 1 divided by 3 is equal to 4 over, let's say, 4 over 5. So if we want to solve this proportion, we know that we can multiply both sides by 3 and 5, which is equivalent to cross multiplying. So I end up getting 5 times 2x minus 1 is equal to 3 times 4, which is 12. And now at this point, we have a linear equation which we can solve. So we can start by distributing the 5. We end up getting 10x minus 5 is equal to 12. We can add 5 to both sides and get 10x equals 17. And then finally, we divide by 10 and get x is equal to 17/10.